I'm here with Myron. What's your last name, Myron?
Myron Godak.
Godak. How long have you been practicing martial arts?
32 years.
32 years. How long have you been running this establishment?
The last 2 years.
2 years?
We opened up, yeah.
And you taught before you came here?
Absolutely. I've been teaching for a long time.
Nice. You've been all over the globe, right? You've been in other
Yes.
places. Where have you taught martial arts before?
I've taught martial arts in parts of Europe. I've taught here most of my life, but I worked for the UN for a little while, so I got to actually teach for the UN.
Nice.
I was teaching a UN kickboxing class along with my other UN assignment.
That's really cool. You worked with some UFC fighters as well, right?
Mm-hmm. I've worked with Pat Barry, Charlie Rader, Melvin Gillard, Rich Clementi. We have a long list in Louisiana. And I've worked with most of them. Sean Jordan. Yeah.
Right on. So what are you doing in this school here? Like what sets your school apart from other schools in the area?
Well, we are a pretty much a full-featured MMA facility, but we also run a good fitness program as well. So we're not only a martial arts school, but I would call ourselves a martial arts-oriented fitness kind of place. Because most of our students aren't fighters.
Yeah.
Most of our students are here for self-defense, they're here for fitness, they're here for that kind of thing.
That's where the money is in martial arts.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have a passion for something, but you got to find a way to fund that passion.
Yes.
And people do come in, they have a passion for getting fit and learning martial arts, but they don't necessarily have to actually fight competitively.
Tell me a little bit. I've watched some of these combat sports classes. It's it's a slightly different take on fitness and combat. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. What I do in that class is I try to teach people the fundamental movements of martial arts, but I put it into a fitness program. So if you take that class, you can then fit yourself into a kickboxing class or a basic jiu-jitsu class or even something like an aikido or judo class. What happens is by practicing the fundamental movements of like hip switches and flexibility and your different punches and kicks, you get a lot more flexible and a lot more fluid when it comes time to actually do techniques in a class like Muay Thai or Dutch kickboxing or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So, but at the same time, it's more of a conditioning program.
Yeah. And that's one thing. I've seen lots of our cardio kickboxing classes, but yours is more of a full body control your body, almost like a core workout with the movement.
It's very big on core.
It wasn't just getting your heart rate up. It was coordination and
agility training.
Yeah, I saw people climbing the cage and doing lots of bear walks and stuff.
I like to teach people in that class. There's also an element of self-defense that goes into that class as well. But I think that self-defense is something that's more holistic than just punching or kicking or kicking somebody in the groin. I think self-defense is more about personal crisis management, where if you're in a disaster kind of situation and you might have to negotiate an obstacle either to get away from something or to get to someone or something along those lines, I mean, it all kind of factors in. It's not just about defending yourself against a single attacker. It's getting yourself out of a dangerous situation.
Yeah, surviving.
Right. So we also teach a little bit about negotiating obstacles and, like you saw the people getting over the cage. In real life, there are times you may have to get over a fence in order to either get to safety or maybe get to someone who's in danger or something like that. So we add things like that into that class to make people more functionally fit.
And just about the future of martial arts and mixed martial arts. I know we talked a little bit off camera about how certain techniques go out and in a style, like how the spinning back kick is coming back, for catching people when they're circling outside and little things like that.
Yes.
Is there anything you think, be it striking or otherwise, is in the future of the UFC or mixed martial arts or even martial arts outside of the octagon?
I think that martial arts has a really bright future, and I think that people are starting to realize that there's nothing like the martial arts when it comes to fitness, both mental and physical. The thing about regular exercise is that you might exercise your body, but martial arts also exercises your mind. It teaches you how to perform under a real pressure and a real stress. And I think that in today's society, people need that. They need that functional peak performance state that is generated by fight training, even though they don't necessarily have to fight to compete or anything like that.
It's more than being able to put themselves, to push themselves and getting that mental.
Absolutely. Now, as far as the future of MMA, as an MMA referee who referees a lot, I can tell you that I've been doing it since the very beginning, since the 90s, and I've seen an evolution of fighters and athletes like nothing before. probably in the next 10 to 15 years, you're going to see some kids that are out there doing stuff that is going to be incredible. You're seeing glimpses of that with people learning how to incorporate things like the jump spinning kicks and you're seeing like off the wall combinations now. Look at it like this. MMA at its core is really an extreme sport. All right, it's very similar to the X Games, like surfing, like snowboarding, like skydiving, like these kinds of things. And if you've seen the progress recently in those sports, like the tricks that these guys are starting to pull off in things like surfing and mountain biking and, you know, all these different things. And you can attribute that to the flow of information, to the internet. So now a person learns much differently and much quicker than they did before back when I started training when I was a little kid back in the 80s. So when you look at that and you see how these kids are able to pull up a tutorial on how to throw a spinning back fist or learn how to throw things like that, they add that into the training that they're already doing. And that's only getting more and more. People are learning digitally a lot more now, and it's going to only get more so in the coming years. Kids today learn differently. So you're going to see some incredible things.
Awesome. Good interview. Thank you very much. Also, thank you for all the hospitality while I've been here. I've been on the road. It's hard to find somewhere to work out and good people to work with. You've been so good to me. I don't know how to say thank you, but
no
thank
problem.
you.
No problem. You're welcome anytime.
Boom.